Welcome back, everybody. It's time to close this out. After this best of 3, it's going to be on to the Final 4 and then the finals. That's going to be on Sunday, by the way. Either herO or Zoun will be advancing. So far, these 2 seasons of GSL have been good for the Protosses.
Yeah.
We're going to have one of these 2 guys move on. The winner of this will face off against Rogue, who, by the way, looks really strong. There could be a crazy season where Rogue actually wins this. Which, by the way, that's kind of funny to say because Rogue is like a multiple-time world champion. But, you know, Rogue has not been as impressive in the last, few years. But right now, he looks incredible. So that's going to be a great match no matter who it is. So if it's herO or Zoun, I'm going to be happy either way. Zoun has quietly improved a lot. He looks to be in great shape. Obviously, herO just won the GSL. But that doesn't mean that Zoun can't just trounce him here now.
Yeah, and herO historically, we talked about it. He had, I believe, an 11 series win streak versus Zoun coming into this GSL. But Zoun mixed things up a lot, was very aggressive in that opening series against herO, showed a lot more range in PvP, and he broke the curse. He finally won a series against him. It had been 6 or 7 months, as insane as that is. And it feels like Zoun right now, he is playing with so much more confidence. He's so much more capable. His range has expanded. He can really do it all. I think this is going to be a pretty wild clash between herO and Zoun. One of these guys is going on to face Rogue in the round of 4. One of them is going home. Let's go to set 1, Magannatha.
Okay, herO in the bottom right, Zoun in the top left. It was Zoun that cannon rushed earlier, right? Yeah. That was wild to see. Wild to see it work, too.
Cannon rushed herO of all people.
Yeah. So we've got the rematch going on here tonight. And that was what allowed Zoun to kind of completely U-turn this whole series when he had already had a rough game 1. These 2 so far have made for some very explosive games. Doesn't mean we won't have a long macro game, but, it's been a lot of kind of explosive games that come to the conclusion pretty quickly. Both sides are going to scout.
Very fast second gas for Zoun, and that probe. I wonder if he's setting up for a proxy or just taking a different path.
I think he's just going, just going around, basically. It looks like it's going to be mirrored scout paths here.
Yeah. Huh. With Zoun coming into this series, I felt like I always had a very good read on his style here in PvP. Usually a lot more reaction-based, very sentry-heavy in the early games. Love to secure that fast expand really quickly. herO in the past has been able to abuse that. One of the reasons why he had such a dominating win streak versus Zoun. But Zoun so far today has kind of flipped the script. I feel like in almost every single one of the PvPs, it's been herO who's been defending Zoun's aggression. And I'm wondering if that's going to continue on in this best of 3, or if Zoun is going to try and go back to more of the basics, so to speak, in terms of just standard, safe macro play, because it is dangerous trying to play that game against herO. herO is so good at forcing mistakes from his opponents, and especially in a cutthroat mirror matchup like PvP, where there's very little room for mistakes. It's a dangerous game to try and play, but we do have the Stalker Sentry opening coming in here for Zoun. He is setting up the 3rd pylon here on the low ground. Meanwhile, herO, Stargate back at his base.
Yeah, so that's going to be the Stargate tech coming up here. That pylon will eventually be picked off here, although we don't have Zoun starting his Nexus just yet. Is this actually going to put him ahead? Okay, he's going to cancel and then throw his own Nexus down.
We have another sentry coming in. One in production now. And there's the 2nd sentry. So this is more of what I was expecting to see from Zoun in the opening series. This hallucination-focused, early sentry, safe standard macro play. And he's going to have to parry, basically, the attacks that herO's going to come in for him. Luckily, this probe down here on the low ground is not the one that is going to be building the shield battery. Zoun did have another there at the ramp. And expansion is actually surprisingly equal, given the way this is shaken out with a Stargate first here for herO.
So he's going to see the Oracle coming in over here. And yeah, this may be a little bit of a slower game here, PvP. Gets a little denial there on the Adept Shade. And we have that Twilight Council about halfway done. As the first Oracle is going to be inbound here. See if he can actually get any probes. Is there actually a battery, by the way?
I think the one on the production tab is in the main base. Yeah, because we do have a shield battery right here. So
he's going to go up to the second Oracle, and that can negate the usage of the battery if the shots are synced.
Yeah, it's just like the Adepts if they're coming in.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could just focus fire it down, but yeah, you're not going to get as many kills. So there really is an art to this, to trying to just have them paired up correctly. Now, I saw sentries and stalkers waiting in the main to preempt this.
The Adept's going to come in too. Now, these two Oracles going to come down to the natural expansion. There are 3 stalkers, which can do a fair number of damage to these Oracles. So just going to be 3 probe kills, and then herO will pull away. And Immortal production is getting started. Now, herO sometimes in PvP has been playing a Twilight Council-less style, or at least a very delayed Twilight Council, which can be tricky when you're sacrificing mobility against somebody who's playing, oh, Oracle's coming again. Oh, he's going to lose one of them. Yikes. No, I don't think that's worth it there for the 2 probes going down. Especially when you're going for a fast third base like this, Zoun has not been afraid to lean super heavily into Blinkstalker Sentry aggression on 2 bases, not even vying for a third. And, you know, stasis traps, they're oftentimes a critical part of the defense when you go for Oracle openings like this, because you can energy recharge them and just get so many stasises down between your third base, your natural expansion. You might try to obscure the vision on them from your opponent by just parking your army right on top of those and kind of baiting a blink.
Nice denial of the Phoenix. It does see the Robo, by the way. And, yeah, I mean, this is going to be a long game PvP here. We've got the Forges coming down. And this could end up being a kind of Archon Zealot game. It goes on for long enough. We've had that before.
Yeah, we'll see how many gases get taken here.
Yeah. So he's just going to go ahead and take out that Phoenix. A couple more gateways coming down now as well. And it's been very quiet. Nobody's trying to really fully engage with the other side, which is fine, by the way. But very kind of passive macro style here. War Prism out. Now, is he actually going to try to go on the move with this? You usually try to delay the War Prism up until it's time to move out.
I feel like a third base is almost a bait, given the fact that Zoun has made basically no probes since throwing that down. With 2 more gateways in production, 4 more stalkers warping in. herO,
there's no probes over at that Nexus.
Yeah, and herO just scouted it.
Yeah, so that could have been kind of a deceptive play here to make it look like he's actually, you know, on the same level economically, when in fact he's going to try to hit him here with an attack.
I think Zoun might even have a fake forge on his base too. So I remember seeing one in the production tab.
Yeah, I don't see it upgrading. Now this area is booby-trapped, so a bad engage is going to have the right number of frozen stalkers to make this not doable. He's going to try to come get that. Oh my god, he almost gets that observer.
All right, Zoun, there is a stasis trap here. He identified this with the hallucinated Phoenix earlier, now he's coming in. There's a lot of energy on those sentries. Yeah. No Warp Prism, I think, for herO.
The Immortals are really well placed. He's going to warp it again. Is he just going to go for a dive? Oh my god, the shield battery even healing the Observer for a couple of these shots.
It's good force fields to isolate the Immortals, but herO also did a great job of just kind of breaking the concave.
I mean, I feel like the amount of damage that was evenly distributed on those Immortals was one of the most painful things I have ever seen. You know, a lot of times with Stalkers, and I don't know if that last situation would have been like a one where he could have done this, but you know, a lot of time when you have just Stalkers, you kind of focus fire stuff. And that didn't happen. And herO, I mean, he's just sandbagging the progress over here so well.
Oh, Charge Zealots are out on the field too. Those are going to pair very well with these Immortals. I mean, 4 Immortals pack such a punch against this army.
It's funny because the Immortal was like made to kill stuff like tanks, but it's so good versus Stalker. It's almost like an anti-Stalker unit. He's going to... Oh my god! Brushes with death. It's like a Final Destination moment. We're going to see if his fate's actually going to be sealed in a little bit here.
Oh man, herO is just going to be going for the throw right now. Moving across the map with all these Immortals. Stalkers, very good when you can kind of finesse and blink away from these Immortals, but when they are in your natural expansion, in your third base, you got to take the fight. herO's army is massive right now, Tasteless. Zoun's about to blink it. Oh, he's going to get trapped. He can't even recall back home.
Oh my God. That was a painful amount of Stalkers. About half of them just frozen right now. That's going to be a GG. herO taking that game. Perfect defense, by the way.
Decisive.
I mean, really making Zoun look almost like obsolete in how he tried to engage. Like, herO, I mean, again, there was that one attack, and it was like, I don't know, 40% of the Stalkers are running around in the back, and then there was like force fields making all these gaps. And then it was like, each of the Immortals is like, well, let's all lose our shields evenly, and then let's all lose about half our HP evenly, and then one of us will die right before we've won this fight.
A lot of players in PvP, or just in general with Protoss, you think about force field as blocking a ramp or isolating a unit or a group of units. In PvP with Blink, defensively like that, the primary use of force field there for herO is not to try and isolate anything. You're trying to basically break the concave of Zoun. Zoun had this magnificent arc, but half of the space wasn't even usable because of the force fields. And so, as you said, all this damage just very evenly distributed. Nothing of importance went down. And herO able to ride that momentum to a victory. Now he's one map win away from going to the playoffs again here in GSL Season 2. Our map is loading up. It's going to be Tokamak. Is Zoun going to be able to fight back, or is herO going to book his ticket again to the round of 4?
Okay, herO in the bottom left, Zoun in top right. And yeah, interesting direction that game took back there. herO basically committed to a more sophisticated long-term plan. It's more sophisticated army, I should say, more kind of a long-term plan. Where Zoun basically came into that like, we're going to try to end this right away. I'm glad we noticed that the third Nexus had no probes in it, by the way. That's something that's easy to miss. A lot of times you see a base going up, you go, okay, well, we know what kind of game this is. But it's also an expensive fake out, you know? But, you know, the way that engagement came in there just didn't end up working out. So let's see if Zoun tries to amp it up and do something a little bit crazier.
Yeah, so far it's been him aggressing on herO pretty much this entire series, whether it be with a cannon rush, two-base timing attack with kind of a feigned third base. It worked in series number 1. He was able to win the opening series tonight 2-1 over herO in a pretty stunning upset. herO's just had his number in PvP. But now in the second series, I mean, some people often say there's a curse in GSL where whenever there's a rematch, it's usually the player who lost the first series comes back and wins the second one.
Yeah.
It might happen again here with herO and Zoun.
So,
oh, that probe is so low.
Yeah. He's one sharp turn away from getting killed here. So the probe is just heading back now. So we're going to have a Stalker Sentry opening here on both sides. And yeah, we'll see if there's any kind of pylon placed here to block.
Zoun will almost certainly do it.
Yeah, no,
Feels like
this
every
is like
PvP.
Yeah.
I don't mind it when you get to cancel it at like 99%, but again, sometimes you see it finish and it dies 5 seconds later. It's like, it's not worth the extra 75 minerals.
But like, it's literally part of his build.
Yeah, I know. He does
like a lot of other people,
like,
they go, oh,
I
think I could like throw a pylon down here and maybe do that. He's like, I literally do this every game. And I think it was actually in the last game, he basically had his like Nexus up 3 seconds earlier. And you lose money when you cancel too, so I even looked at it, I was like, I don't even know if that was that good that time. But,
yeah, I feel like whenever I see somebody also, like I watch Zoun play in another tournament and the other casters, they have the same conversation, like, is this worth it?
Yeah.
It's hard to say. I feel like there's no right or wrong answer. By the way, here moving out, these initial units, I think just feigning pressure here, although it is herO. He is kind of crazy. We might see him try to make something happen with 3 Stalkers and 1 high-energy Sentry.
Well, there's 2 Adepts out on the map. And they're not turning around. But I think right now he's I mean, if you see a Sentry on this side of the map, you should be like, okay, something's going on.
Max energy Sentry, too.
Yeah.
Right, he's coming in.
Sentry. Ooh. Nice micro here.
Just nothing taking like any hull damage. And
Oh, what?
Oh, wait! No shield battery here at the ramp. Unfortunately, the shade didn't go straight into the main, but also the recall.
He was like basically ready to preemptively run away.
Ooh,
oh,
be careful,
what's
sentries.
up?
Okay. Kind of fortuitous recall there on the front line to be able to intercept those adepts.
That could have been a lot worse. I mean, a lot of times PvPs end when 2 adepts get in your base and they kill like 6 probes, and then we just watch a really bad PvP for a couple more minutes before that guy dies.
Well, Zoun also posturing a little bit outside of his third here on the minimap. Very fast forge for Zoun. Surprisingly quick +1.
So he's going to come through here and scout.
Ooh, charge first for herO. No blink. I wonder if this is going to be a really fast timing attack coming in. Oh, he's switching into Glaives. Okay. I feel like this is going to be a 2-base push coming from herO.
Yeah. herO is going to come in here and try to cut him down. Third Nexus for Zoun, and we have no reason to believe he's doing any kind of all-in. In fact, because he's expanding right now ahead of him, so this is definitely a macro play.
A little bit of indecisiveness there from herO. I was watching the production tab. He had Immortal queued up. He canceled it, started Warp Prism, canceled that, went back into the Immortal. Trying to decide exactly how he wants to stagger these units or queue these units coming out of the robotic facility, because he is lining up for a devastating timing attack. Usually when you go for Immortal, Sentry, Glaives, it either wins the game outright or it loses the game outright. Sometimes you can find a balance where you did enough damage that you can normalize and get blink yourself, but usually this is a game-ending blow if you're going for it.
Oh, God, he just went right over that.
He's faking the gas right now. And up until this point, herO has only shown Stalkers and Sentries. So as far as Zoun is concerned, this is basically just going to be blink.
Right. So the Adept Glaives are coming along here. And yeah, I mean, Adepts, they don't scale well into really long games. It's why whenever you see a bunch of Adepts come out, it's always a very specific type of game. It has a certain feel to it, especially after it fails. I'm not saying this will fail, but, you know, it's usually a pretty strained position from there. He's going to come up now, and the third base right now is it's got no probes, nothing's mining there. He's going to arc around the side here, and I think he might even try to go to the natural. Now, these 2 Adepts could do a ton of damage, especially if the attack here from herO fails.
Yeah, no defense.
And I don't even know that he knows this is happening, by the way. I don't think the probe has been pulled back yet.
I think Zoun is aware of this timing attack coming in. Ooh, good force fields, and with the blink back, he's able to isolate this. A lot of shield batteries finishing up. This is going to be great for absorbing the damage. Pylon also finished. Oh, wait, that's actually not blocking the full thing. Okay, some Adept's going to get into the main base here of Zoun, but so far, the defense on the front line, very good. herO has been able to kill 4 probes in total. 4 Adepts getting warped in.
Oh, he blinks right on top.
He gets the Prism and the Immortal. Zoun with a perfect read. I mean, talk about just dispatching this timing attack in a hurry. Yeah, herO able to get a little bit of damage done with these Adepts, but the rug just got pulled out from under him.
Great game there from Zoun. Combination of those 2 Adepts getting in there, killing those probes, and then shield battery, force field hell for herO. He just couldn't quite get in there. He couldn't get the damage off, and so a failed timing attack. This series, man. A tale of failed timing attacks. Who will be honorable state? Who will get a 4th base?
I don't know if it's going to happen.
Probes.
I don't think we're going to get a 3rd base filled with probes at this rate.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Which is funny considering how many PvPs we've had so far
Dude, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, these guys, they do not want to let up at all. And now we're going to go to Incorporeal. It's going to be the final map to decide which one of these 2 players is going to the round of 4, which one is going home. Zoun on a hot streak. Top 3 at Bellum and Gen's Elite just a week ago. herO, the reigning GSL champion, 2 of the best Protoss players in the world right now. In this losers match, who is going to get the winning edge? I cannot predict what's going to happen. I just know the game's going to be explosive. Our map is loading up. Let's get into it.
Okay, we've got herO here in the bottom right, Zoun here in the top left. And, yeah, I mean, this has been a fun series so far. This is a fight over that last spot in the round of 4. By the way, that's not tomorrow. I can't remember if that schedule was public or not. That was just in trouble with us, but it's going to be on Sunday. Tickets are already sold out. But we are going to have the round of 4 and the finals.
And potentially a tiebreaker.
On that day. So that's going to be a long day of great games.
Just to quickly explain the tiebreaker thing, as we have some downtime here as the game gets started. Gumiho and Rogue are in the round of 4 but have not secured their ticket to EWC. Classic already has his ticket. herO and Zoun already have their tickets. And so if Gumiho and Rogue both lose their semifinal match on GSL, we're going to play an additional best of 5, a 3rd place match to decide who gets the seed. And so there might be a lot of StarCraft on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be a blast, man. And that's going to start earlier, by the way. It starts at 5 p.m. So tune in a little bit earlier so you don't miss the whole show. So in this game, we're waiting for the course to finish, what kind of first 2 unit comps are going to have. Is anybody going to one base all in, or are they just both going to go for expands? And for now, we just have, I don't know, there's not a ton going on here, man. The PvPs, they make for very, very different early mid games because there's so many different possible builds and so many ways to play, and a lot of really strong cheeses, honestly. But we don't get to see what kind of games those are going to be until we start to see that first definitive tech or the Nexus. So it's double sentry here for herO, which does let you get a Nexus a little bit quicker because you have all those spare minerals.
Bull doing this against a Zoun who loves to throw down a pylon.
Yeah.
But I guess that probe was far enough away. It's not going to matter. Very fast sentries here for herO. It's actually be a Zealot sentry behind it, too. That's an interesting set of units to have here in the early game. Tech buildings now coming in. Twilight Council here for herO. This is Lucy Phoenix is going to see the Zealot finish. Zoun probably scratching his head a little bit about that one. But of course, in the end, not the biggest of deals. Zoun is opting for the Robo. I believe up until this point, it's mostly been herO opting for the Robo and Zoun opting for the Twilight Council. So a bit of a role reversal here in the final map of the day.
And we've got, things continuing to develop here. 2 sentries moving out. Man, herO just likes to kind of get in your face early. I wonder how many games he just has like a really good engage early on and wins.
It's a lot.
You know? Yeah.
I was watching herO Zoun games like on a train coming in today. It happens a lot.
Yeah.
There's some level of mind games going into this too, where I'm sure Zoun is at least partially traumatized by these little tiny moveouts that herO does. So herO kind of sharking around the map.
Well, he still does have some of the best control in the whole world.
Yeah, although I will give a lot of props to Zoun. I feel like lately his control, it's always been good, but lately it looks so sharp. It's maybe not as decisive as herO, but it honestly feels a little bit cleaner.
So +1. herO really sinking its teeth into a development game here. Unless that's going to be some kind of weird +1 timing attack, which I would be surprised by. The Forge here for Zoun is going to be a little bit later. He'll get his +1 as well, which will just always be a little bit behind. We'll see if that plays any role here, depending on when the engagements happen. The 3rd Nexus comes down as well, as herO is just as focused as ever on macro. And I don't know that there's going to be a timing play here or not. I mean, with a Robo, there are a lot of opportunities to try to come in and hurt them, especially once you have an Immortal and Warp Prism out. But that's not the kind of game that Zoun's going to play. He's got his 3rd Nexus coming down here as well. So in a lot of ways, they're both doing similar things, especially with the +1 coming along. But it does feel like herO's everything herO's is sorry, I can't talk. Everything herO is doing is coming out a little bit faster, and herO is going to set this up for a timing attack on Zoun's 3rd. Momentum-wise, herO has been just slightly ahead in this game.
This is very scary for Zoun because he doesn't have a Warp Prism yet, and the Twilight Council is only halfway done. These sentries with the Force Field, with that proxy gateway and proxy pylon over at the 9 o'clock position could wreak havoc on third base of Zoun.
Yeah, let's also not forget, I mean, you know, I was talking about that +1 attack that herO got earlier. It is going to play a role here. He's going to hit as that finishes, and Zoun's +1 attack is like maybe 20, 30 seconds behind. So like, and that's enough time to just win a fight in StarCraft. So he's going to move out now, and I love these hallucinated Stalkers.
Keep in mind, no blink, no warp prism here for Zoun. He cannot retreat from these force fields. You got to be really careful. Nice micro there from herO, activating the shields on that one Immortal, then peeling back off to the side. Gotta be careful though, there isn't really an escape path from this side.
Yeah, the Immortals are really well placed though. I don't know that these Stalkers are going to get the right surface area. Maybe with more warping in, he can kind of loop around from the bottom and hit.
These force fields are getting some good work done though, isolating more Stalkers.
The sentries kind of got pushed onto the outside. Oh, he takes out that one sentry there at the bottom.
At what point is herO just going to pull the trigger and blink on top of these Immortals? Oh, there's 3 of them now. Yeah, this is scary. All right, he blinks forward, able to take down one of those Immortals and then microing back, but that was an expensive blink. A lot of Stalkers got taken down. You see herO immediately queuing up additional probes.
Yeah.
Starting charge. I think he knows that this isn't necessarily a window where he can win the game, and he blinks forward again. 2-shotting that Immortal, this one with the shields. It's going to take 3 shots to take it down. Expensive trades here for herO. He's taking out key units.
I mean, he got the Immortals, but at what cost? I mean, there's another one that's going to come into play here, and it almost looks like Zoun has either more or the same number of Stalkers at this point in time.
Yeah, but still no blink for Zoun. He's going for charge instead. herO is sitting on 3 gases. He can't make just the pure blink Stalker army. He's going to have to start working in Zealots with charge finishing up. 10 worker lead right now there for herO. Zoun might be misreading this a little bit. Oh, a Deb's even coming in. Nice Stalker warp in. Zoun with great mini-map awareness, spotting that very quickly. herO, meanwhile, +1 coming in, +1 armor. Additional gateways also powering up. He's adding in cannons. He's trying to play this as safely as possible. And taking the 4th. Keep in mind, still no blink for Zoun.
Yeah, I mean, he's in a defensive position, so I don't think if he needs it as badly, he can get it later. But, you know, herO is also expanding ahead while this is going on, which changes the dynamic of everything. It's clear that he's not all in. You know, normally I would expect Zoun to actually be taking like a 4th base somewhere at the top right. So kind of a role reversal here for what you might expect in a normal-looking StarCraft game. I mean, the continuation of Immortals being cranked out is going to make these Stalkers pretty obsolete, even with blink, over no blink. Counterattack here, the infamous cannon sentry force to fight that off.
Oh, and I think that's a Templar Archives getting warped in right now by Zoun. It is indeed. So he's going to be just going pure charge lot Archon, and with these blink Stalkers here from herO, of course he's going to be mostly leaning on the Zealots with these warp-ins as his mineral income starts to skyrocket here. But there is so much micro potential if he can catch Zoun before Zoun moves all the way across to herO's side of the map. Very much like stopping a Siege Tank Marine push. You can shave off Zealots as they're coming in, or blink right into the main like this. And mitigating this surface area right now for those Zealots. There's actually a recall into the main base, but that means the 3rd base might be a little bit undefended. herO, instead, he blinks down in the corner, has to recall back at home.
And the growth from that 4th base is going to kick in. We've got more gateways being made here. There is a Warp Prism coming for Zoun, so he might want to try to push. I don't know if he can make this work or not. You know, the supply, army supply is kind of deceptive here when the tech is this different, you know, with charge lots, with Stalkers versus, you know, some Zealots, Stalkers, but also a decent amount of Immortals.
Yeah, the Archons.
Yeah, Archons are going to melt Zealots if you can get enough of them, and they get the right pairings in the fight.
Both players should have +2 ground weapons finishing it right around the same time as well. So that upgrade advantage that herO had, that edge, it is dissipating. He's adding in Archons of his own, additional gases. I love this.
You know, honestly, I think that Zoun kind of played this out wrong. I think he thought that herO was more all in than he actually was, and like herO's already like outgrown him here. So I'm worried that this counterattack, I mean, well, it depends on, you know, how exactly the engage goes, but I'm worried the counterattack might be too small. There are so many Zealots, by the way.
It's crazy.
If he can fight him out in the open, it's going to be insane.
I think he's going to be looking for a big sandwich if he can get it.
Yeah, I think so. And, you know, I think at this point in time, herO actually is looking for a fight. This almost looks wrong with, you know, this smaller Zoun now moving out on the map.
He's missing this move from Zoun, so the Zoun is coming into the natural expansion. Templar Archives is here, a couple of gateways. herO, he's going to have to retreat all the way back from the center of the map. with Warpits, you might be able to set up a surround. Instead, he is just charging in. All the Zealots on the right side. One of the Archons for Zoun is there on the left, chasing down the Stalkers, so not the full splash damage here for Zoun on those Zealots. Still, herO respecting this a lot. Even though he has a supply advantage lead, he's going to pull back, wait for another warp in.
He's coming in, and the surrounds are looking really good. Some more counter Zealots are being warped in here, but now the final wave of Zealots comes down here for herO, and he's just overwhelming this position. GG. herO is going to the round of 4.
Wow, a back and forth series between herO and Zoun. 3-3 the map score on the day, but herO wins the final series, the one that matters the most. He is going to advance to play Rogue in the round of 4. And Zoun, I mean, it was a terrific showing in a very tough group, but just shy of those playoffs here in Season 2.
Great series, man. Zoun, he looked really strong, but herO, obviously, he's so tough to beat. He could win another GSL, by the way. He's in the round of 4 here. We're going to go to an interview and see his thoughts, and then we'll be wrapping up the show for you guys.
이야기 나눠보도록 하겠습니다. 자, 오늘 김준호 선수는 쉽지 않은 싸움을 기다리고 있었잖아요. 정말 힘겹게 오늘
Well, it's been a really tough night, herO.
끝에 승리 따내고 여기까지 올라오게 됐는데요. 2연속 4강입니다. 진짜 소감 말씀 들어보도록
Every
하겠습니다.
single series made it to a map number 3. Finally, you made it to the final match, and you were able to win the very last map of the night. How do you feel? Well, first of all, I want to thank my fans for supporting me. Since the bracket and the group was revealed, mentally I was pretty stressed coming into this match because I felt, a lot of pressure, and I also felt a little bit sad about having to go up against Bunny, who's one of my closest friends, and I felt bad about eliminating him.
패자는 이재선 선수 잡아냈으니까 어떻게든 올라가겠다 하는 그 의지가 좀 느껴졌는데 마지막 경기의 느낌은 좀
Well, in the final match there against Zoun, we were reading your facial expressions, and it seemed like you were going through a lot there in that last game. Yeah, well, after the first map, or after the first matchup, he means. He's saying, there was a possibility that both me and Zoun could make it to the semifinals, but because we met all the way here in the final match, that possibility was gone. It was do or die, and so I just had to try my best. In the history of GSL, Protoss doesn't really win that many Kodas tournaments, but you won last season, and now we have 2 more Protoss in the round of 4 here in Season 2. Do you think it's possible for a Protoss to win again? Here says, well, I feel like my aspiration is to be the best Protoss player here in GSL, so winning another championship is my goal. But the players in the round of 4, they are very strong, and I also heard that Rogue said he was actually looking forward to playing against me, and so I'm anticipating that match. And any final words, herO? Well, various aspects about my gameplay today, I didn't feel the best about it, but I'm gonna try my best to iron that out for the finals. I hope you guys cheer for me there. Great set of games today, Tasteless.
This was fun.
It's 9:50 p.m. This was a fast day, but literally every series went to map 3.
Oh yeah, that's true. God, and that means it could have been a lot shorter. Well, PvP is just like that, Yeah, sometimes an Immortal just kills all the Stalkers and the game ends. I really liked the DT game we had, where they both scumbag DT rushed each other.
Yeah, that was fun.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We're gonna have a few days off, and when we come back, we're going to have our semifinals. That's Rogue versus herO. And then Classic versus Gumiho. And we're going to go right into the finals after that. So 2 best-of-5s and then a best-of-7.
With the possibility of a best-of-5 tiebreaker match.
The possibility of the tiebreaker match.
Yeah, so it's shaping up to potentially be a very long final day.
Yes.
That is going to be 5 p.m. KST on Sunday. That is an hour and 30 minutes earlier than we typically start.
That's right.
If you're here in Korea, make sure you come in early. If you're watching from home around the world and you want to catch this live, tune in early.
It's going to be fun. And then, we've got RSL after that, and then EWC is right around the corner. So
there's just so many tournaments happening. I think, what, Home Story Cup or something also is like a couple of weeks away.
Yeah,
There's just so much StarCraft.
It's like suddenly all the StarCraft happened at once.
Yeah, well, we're all holding our breath waiting
That's right.
for the circuit to be renewed.
I didn't know I could hold my breath for that long, but
yeah. Next year, if we have another long off season, could start a career in scuba diving or something.
I was going to say I could
set
be
a new freestyle
deep-sea
record.
diver at this point in time. I should be collecting pearls.
Yeah, man. We're going to be the guys that get going all the way down to the bottom of the nuclear tanks. Make sure
right.
everything's shaping up right.
So, yeah, we'll see you guys in just a couple days. What is it, Thursday today? So.
Oh, yeah. For some reason, I thought it was Friday.
Yeah, no, I keep doing that, too. So our semifinals and finals, it's going to be right here at the Free Cup studio. If you've been watching GSL or coming to GSL for a long time, this is the one that we're always at in Samsung Station. There are 2 other studios, one in Digital Media City, one in Jamshil. But generally speaking, GSL is always here.
Yeah, the tickets have sold out, but still, make sure you come in early if you can. I know, I think we actually even did a second round of ticket sales, if I'm not mistaken. Because
is that
it sold
right?
out so quickly, and they added more seats. But yeah, we have the fire department right across the street, so
yeah, we
are limited.
We will get shut down if we let too many people in.
Yeah.
So yeah, great game. Great. I can't talk. Great day of games here today.
Yeah, PvP gets me tongue-tied too.
Yeah. And I think this Final Four is exciting. I think no matter who advances, it's going to be interesting. And I think it's a hard finalist to call. Like, who's actually going to win the whole thing?
Yeah, I feel like the winner of Rogue versus herO is probably the favorite, but Classic looked so good today, and also Gumiho is just this unpredictable Terran, even when he mechs, which you kind of expect him to do. What flavor of mech is it going to be? He's expanding faster than I think we've ever seen any Terran expand.
He's kind of changing the way that we understand mech.
It's crazy.
Like, he's having these mech games where he's, like, out-expanding them. He's, like, up to 7 or 8 bases. I'm like, I didn't even know you could get that many bases with mechs. So, yeah. herO, a possible win for him. Rogue could be coming back, you know. These guys, they go on a hiatus, they take a break, they join the military. Doesn't mean they can't come back and dominate again.
Yeah, and back-to-back wins for herO would be huge after such a long break between Protoss players winning a GSL championship.
Yeah, we don't really have Protoss champions compared to how many Zerg and MaRo champions we have.
I think that would be his 3rd GSL champion, if I'm not mistaken. Did he win a 4th one?
I think we're thinking of Super Tournament.
Yeah, it's hard. It's been like 15 years. So
I've casted too many games to have that all.
But usually,
saved.
I feel like when we have Protoss players win, I feel like they don't win that many seasons. Usually, we have like Seed, we have MC, we rotate all the way through.
Yeah. Guys, that's all the time we have. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you on Sunday. We love you. Bye-bye.
Incoming transmission.